Hi everyone, Tammy here. I'm going to be making another card tutorial. I have this stamp set here. It is called Present Triplets to Stamp and it's from Stamps of Life. I also have this other stamp set from Stamps of Life and it is called Squirrel to Stamp. And it's got a lot of really good sayings on there and sentiments, and I really like that stamp set. I'm also going to be using some paper from this paper pad. It's from Echo Park Paper Company, and I think that I actually got this free on scrapbook.com. I'm not sure, I can't remember, but they kind of give away some papers and stamps sometimes for free, and I think I got that. I'm going to be making a little squirrel card, and I'm going to be using a Slimline. So this is also Stamps of Life, and I do not know the name of this or anything. I didn't keep the packaging. I wish I would have, but I'm going to be linking everything below so you can check it out there. First off, I'm going to stamp out this little squirrel with its wagon, and I'm also using Memento Tuxedo Black ink. It works really well with alcohol markers. You have to use a certain kind of ink if you're using alcohol markers. And I stamped this up twice just in case I mess one up. I have another one. So I'm going to be using the Ohuhu markers, and I'm using 3 shades for the squirrel, and I'm using YGY05, YGY02, and WG04. And I just do a lighter around the edges, and then the medium after that, and then the lightest color in the middle and all over. And I just kind of look at where maybe a shadow would be, and that's kind of how I decide, where the darker parts are. And I always, if there's like on his hands and stuff and ears, the little lines, I always do that in a little bit of a darker shade. Now I'm going to work on the wagon, and for the wagon I used 2 colors. I used R112 and R410. And again, I did the same thing as far as just darker on the edges. And the tires and stuff, I just used gray. And then for the acorns, I'm using E46, YR312, and Y416. Now I'm going to work on my card base, and I'm using that layering die right there that was in that set for the Slimline. And I'm trying to decide on what color for the background. I would have liked to have used pattern paper, but I didn't have any that I liked that was a Slimline size. Now I'm going to make this a tree at the top of the paper, and I realize that's not long enough, but I'm going to piece them together. I feel like it's okay to piece these because it's going to be a really small area and I have a way to cover it up. As far as the base part, I felt like that would be really hard to piece together. So I have all my pieces cut out here, and I'm also going to be putting this present on there. And my idea is to put a tree at the top, and he's going to be pulling the wagon, and there's a present that he's kind of left behind with acorns on it. So I'm just kind of trying to piece things together and figure out how I'm going to get it all on here. And off to the side there, you can see all the leaves I cut, and that die is in the squirrel set. And it's 3 leaves that you cut out at a time, so it didn't take too long. So I want this to look like the present is sitting there and the lid is open and the acorns are popping out of it. So that's what I'm kind of trying to mess with to see how I can get that on there. Then I remember I really need to ink these up, and so I just get some Mowed Lawn ink and ink the edges of those trees. I also ink the edges of the grass. So I got all that inked up, and now I'm going to work on gluing these on. So I put the first one on, and I'm putting it really, really close to the top because that squirrel is a little bit tall. He's kind of big for all the things I'm trying to do on here. I'm always trying to put so much on my cards. So I'm just making sure that that lines up really good at the bottom. I felt like that was the most important, that it still makes that little curve. And I just turn it over and cut off all the extra from the back. You can just kind of follow the line of the card base, and it's pretty easy to cut that off. So I have that all done, and I'm really, really liking the way this looks. And I'm gonna go ahead, and you can hardly even see where I put those together. It's, even if I didn't cover it up, I don't think you'd be able to see it. So I'm just using my little wax tool to pick these up because they're really hard to pick up. And I put the first one on, and I realized really quick that you really can't see it because I didn't ink the leaves, and they're so small you can't really ink them. So I just took my ink dauber and just daubed on top of them, and this worked so, so well. I was able to make it look variated in color because the sponge kind of made a sponge effect on there, and it looks really, really good. It's not solid. I was worried it was just going to look solid, a solid color on there, and I wanted it to be varied. So it really looks good, and I love the way it turned out. And I actually go back and put one over that first one I did because you just can't even see it. It just blends in. So I put another one on top of it. But I just scatter these throughout. I kind of double them up a little bit, like one next to the other. You can see here, it really looks really good. I'll use this technique again. So I was happy I discovered it. And here I'm just putting the squirrel on, and he's just kind of pulling on his wagon. And I just kind of made sure that he fit under that tree there, and so that's why he's kind of moved over a little. I needed his ear on that side. So here I'm just going to put the grass on, and I am not putting any on the top there because I'm going to stick the present in there. Sorry. And so I just turn it over and cut off the edges. This is usually what I do on all the layering pieces I put on there. Now I'm going to just take my little present and stick it in there. And I don't put glue all the way to the top of that either because I want to make sure I can put the acorns in. So I'm just kind of situating the lid. I want that lid to look like it's, you know, popped open with the acorns inside it. And this is a little layering piece that comes with those presents, and it's kind of cool. There's a few layering pieces in there, and you can do all kinds of things with those presents. So I really like that stamp set and die set. And I'm just kind of gluing down a few of those little grasses that were poking out. So I'm just kind of arranging my acorns, and I'm really liking the way this looks. I think it looks good. So I've gotten all those glued in, and I had an extra one, and I thought, well, I'll just put it in the grass there like it kind of tumbled out of the present, is what I was kind of thinking it would look like. So now I just need to get a sentiment on here, and I will say this stamp set has tons of really good sentiments, and I really like the font that they use on this. It's really good. So I decided to do happy birthday because my daughter needs a birthday card for her coworkers, so I thought this would be a great one. And so I just take it and I use my Memento ink again, and I just get a scrap piece of white paper. And I definitely am using my secret weapon from Stamps of Life. It's a stamping foam board that you use to stamp with, and it really helps with your stamping. So I'm just going to stamp out a couple of those just to make sure that, you know, I have an extra if I mess one up on the cutting, because I'm just cutting it with scissors and not a die. So that worked out great, and now I'm decided it didn't look great with the white up against that background. So I just put it on some red paper, and I think it looks so much better with the red. It kind of ties in all the red. And I just used the same paper I used for that present, the red part of the present. And I went ahead and put it on some foam, and I'm just going to put that on there. And I think this card looks so good, and I'm so happy with it. And I'm just going to put it on a base, a card base, a slimline card base. And that's it for this card. So if you could please like this video and subscribe to my channel, I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to grow my channel, and it really helps when you like my videos or comment. So could you let me know what you thought of this video? And if you have any suggestions for me, just let me know in the comments, and be sure to subscribe. I appreciate it, and thank you for watching. I love making these videos for you.